Greetings, everyone. I hope you're all doing well. Just wanted to welcome you all on today's episode of Sunday Market Outlook. Yeah, most of the pairs has been shaping up nicely, especially Euro pairs. So we'll see if we're gonna continue with the last week momentum. So I'm just gonna start off here with the XY. So as you can see, we had this overall structure that is forming here, and according to what I'm seeing here, as you can see, we're coming from this push here, and then we form a corrective structure, and then we reject it here, and then coming to this low. And when we look left here, you can see we broken this high here, as you can see. So what I'm looking for next week, it whether we're gonna reject from here and continue push to the upside to form a new high, something like that. You can see we push from a new low, form a new high, we come back to form a new low, form a new high, breaking this previous high here, and then we come back to this low. So it's either gonna reject from here and then continue push to the upside to form a new high, which should be breaking these highs here, or this high here. So that is my first scenario. And my second scenario is that if we do break here, because you can see you still have bearish momentum to the downside. So if we do break this low, so I'm waiting to see if maybe gonna form a structure from here, which will allow us to take some opportunities to the downside. We're targeting these lows here, you know. So what I can say is just that um I'm waiting, either we're gonna reject from here and push to the upside, or we're gonna continue push to the downside, you know. So just have to wait and see how the market is gonna develop during the week, whether we break here and form some continuation pattern then push to the downside. As you can see, still have this momentum to the downside. So on the 4H, as you can see here, as you can see, the overall move here, we're moving correctively, as you can see. So it's more likely that maybe price might reject from here and then we push to the upside, maybe to form a double top, remain to be seen, then continue push to the downside. As you can see, we've broken this low here. So we just have to wait and see how price gonna develop for from the coming week. So yeah, that's it for the DXY. So I'm gonna start off with my top 6 pairs, then after that I'll do my wildcards. This one is still there. As you can see, the live position is still that USD JPY trade I took last week, as you can see. So I hold it during the weekend. I'll see if we do continue push to the downside, or we're gonna reject from this low and then continue push to the upside. We'll see how it goes. So my first pair on my top 6, it's Euro JPY. If you've been following my videos, you'll know that I've been tracking this pair since we've been from this low, like waiting to see if we're gonna reject from these highs here and then continue push to the downside, because we've been coming from this move here, in impulsive move, and then bigger structure, of which will be continue pushing to the downside, as you can see. So remain to be seen whether we're gonna reject from here and continue push to these lows, or we're gonna form maybe corrective structure from here and then continue push to the upside. So when you go to lower time frames, you can see from 4H here, It's this structure that is developing here. You can see. So what I'm looking for here is to see whether you're gonna continue push to the downside for maybe a structure like this. Then see if you can take it to the downside. First target will be this low, or we push to this low, or overall this low here. So if you don't get that, then maybe move correctively to this area and then can push to the upside, maybe forming something like this, as you can see here. As you can see, and then see if we broken this structure here, or this high, sorry, this high. See if we're gonna form this structure. As you can see, gonna be 1, 2, and 3 here. Of which this will be our overall middle section here, and then we break to this high and then see if we can get some opportunity to the downside. So for now, it's gonna be waiting to see how price gonna develop during the week. As you can see how it's developing. So that we're gonna reject from here and then continue push to the upside to these highs here, and then we sell off or push to the downside, or we're gonna break from here and then continue push to the upside. So just to see how price gonna develop, or we're just gonna drop from here and then form some structure like this. And you must be aware of this low here, as you can see. So if we do break below, like below this low here, and then form some structure, that will be perfect. So another pair, it's Euro NZD, Euro vs New Zealand dollar. So here, what I did here is a pattern separation. Let me move this those trend lines here. So the overall structure is like this, as you can see. And we still have more momentum to the downside, and we broken this low, as you can see here. So, and I'm aware of this daily candle, as you can see how with lows still have more momentum to the downside, as you can see from here. So what I've noticed, you can see we have this low here and this low. So there's a possibility that we might reject to this low here. I have my own reason why I've indicated this low as well. Because if you see here, we have some momentum to the upside of it. There's some liquidity that is around this area. So we might get some rejections around this low, as you can see. So that is why I ended up doing some pattern separation. As you can see, my two latest point here, and then form something like this and something like this here. So what I'm looking for to see if price gonna continue push maybe to this low here and then reject, push to the upside, or we're gonna continue push to the downside, targeting these lows here. So when you go to 4H here, as you can see on the 4H, that is where you can see the clear structure. You can see here's the structure here, and you can see this is what I've outlined last week. As you can see, we're moving correctively here. You can see this move compared to this move is totally different, and you can see here what happened here. We've been moving correctively and then came here and then pushed to the upside. So that is why I was saying, sorry about that. So that is why I'm saying I want to see if how we're gonna reject from this low here. So this is why I'm saying I'll be looking to see if we're gonna form something like this, and then see if we're gonna push to the upside, or if you're gonna continue this momentum, downward momentum, then I'll see if we do form some flag here and then see if you're gonna continue push to the downside. So that's it for euro and New Zealand dollar. So it just have to. That my main reason is that most of the time I do have a bias, but most of the time I always be neutral because anything can happen in the market. So you always have to be neutral. Don't get fixated with a certain bias that you're looking more to the downside, because you can even reject from here. So if we reject here after we broken this low, what you'll be looking for? Take a trade, maybe a push, then some flag from here, and then take it to the upside. So what's gonna happen if we broke this low? Then wait for some message from the market where they're gonna form some structure from here and then take it to the downside. So that is how I'm looking at it. So my next pair on my top 6, it's pound Aussie. So you can see you've been pushing more to the downside and we've broken this low here. So what I'm looking for here is to see if we're gonna get some continuation structure to continue push to the downside. And let me go to 4A so that I can show you this. So as you can see here, there's some significant lows that I'm focusing on. As you can see, these two points here. So what I'm looking for is to see if we can form some structure from here, and then I'll be targeting this low firstly. If we do break here, then I'll see if we can get some flag, then take it to the downside. But I'll be waiting to see that how price gonna react from this low here. This low here. As you can see, if we start from here, we push, come back from here, and then we push, we form another low, and then we push, we form this low, and then we push, we form this low, and then we push. From here, we've broken this low. So it's whether we're gonna reject from these lows and continue push to the upside to form a new high, something like that, or we're gonna continue from here coming to these lows. But at least you need to form to see like maybe a structure from these areas, then take it to the downside. So yeah, we just have to wait and see how market will develop during the week. Let's see. And my next pair, it's pound US dollar. So what I'm looking for here on daily, as you can see, I'm gonna start off here. You can see we have this price action coming to the upside, and we push to the downside, and we broken this low. So what is happening here? After we broken this structure here, we form a new structure, of which, as you can see, we've been having an uptrend. As from here, we failed to form a new high, and then price pushed to the downside, breaking these lows here. So what is happening now? We form a corrective structure. So I'm more looking for the downside, as you can see. So as you can see here, price is within these highs here from daily. So when you go to the lower time frame, so as you can see on the 4H, there's this high here, and then we reacted to it nice. As you can see how we closed here. So what I'll be looking for is to see if we're gonna continue push to the downside, or maybe we're gonna form some structure like this and then continue push to the upside, of which will be what I'll be looking for is something like this. See, structure like this. Sorry. say something like this, and then see if we can reject from these areas and then continue push to the downside. The food will be 1, 2, 3. So what I'm looking for here is to see how price gonna develop within this area here. So it's whether we're gonna push, we're gonna commit earlier and then push to the downside, or we're gonna move correctively and then come to this high and then we sell off. So just waiting to see how price gonna develop regarding those scenarios. And my next pair on my top 6, it's the one that we've been tracking for some weeks now. So let me start off from daily. As you can see from daily, you still have more bullish momentum here. So there's this high that I've indicated here on with my real line. So it's whether when I still push to the upside, maybe breaking this high and then see if we're gonna come back and then push to the downside, or we're still gonna continue this bullish momentum to this high and then see if we're gonna sell off. So when we go to 4H so that I can explain it better. So on the 4H, what I'm looking for is this high here and then this high here. So as you can see, I've been moving correctively. So I'm trying to see if we get some corrective structure from here, of which will push to the upside, breaking this high here, and then see if we reject something like this and then continue push to the downside. So, and something that I've seen, that if evolve my trend line like this, you see what it's happening here, we end up having this structure which is 1, 2, and then 3. So can form some structure here and then push to the upside, and then something like this. It'd be nice to take it to the downside, because I will say I can take a risk entry here, but I won't, because on daily we still have bullish momentum to the upside. So just rather push back and see if we do get some opportunities around these areas and then take it to the downside. But overall, this page shape, it looking very nice. So we'll see how it's gonna develop during the week. And my last pair on my top 6, it's gold. And as you can see on daily, I have this high and this high, and then price was pushing to the upside. And when you look from this area, you can see that after this push, we're moving correctively toward this high here. So when you go to 4H, you can see price started to reject from here. So when I connect my most two recent touches here, you can see what structure that is forming here. So what I'm looking for here is to see, as you can see, we're coming from this. You see, we push here, we correct, and then we push. So it's a possibility that price might come maybe corrective to this area and then continue push to the upside. So if you get something like this, then we'll be aligned nicely with these structures 1, 2, and then our tape touch here. And when you look left, we already broken this structure here. So we'll see if it do reject from these areas, and then see if we get some 15-minute flag from this area and then take it to the downside, targeting this low. So that's it for my top 6 and my all cards. I'm gonna start off with cat JPY. I'm gonna start off from daily. So you can see you have a nice, okay, we've been pushing to the downside. We've broken this low here, as you can see, and then come back to this high and then push again to the downside, broken this low. So price came back to the upside. So what I'm looking for now is to see if gonna come to these areas or to these highs and then see if gonna reject and then continue push to the up to the downside and then form something like this. And see, form something like this. As you can see how price is developing now here. So when I go to the 4H, you can see how price developing here. So we have this structure that's forming here. So looking where we're coming from, as you can see, of this push here. So this will be our first corrective price action. So it's either we're gonna come to these lows and come to this high and then see if we form something like this, then sell, push to the downside, or we're gonna form maybe continuation, a corrective structure like this, and then you push, and then we continue push to this to the upside. So I'm just waiting to see how price is gonna develop from here. Yeah. And my next pair is Eurovis Australian dollar. So as you can see here as well, we have we rejected nicely from this high and then we push to the downside. So we still have more momentum to the downside. So what I'm looking for here, as you can see, we push here, come to this low, we push, and then come, as you can see, push, come back to this low, we push from this low, and then we push, we reject it from here, and then as you can see, we're coming to this low. So from here, it's either you're gonna reject from here and then continue push to the upside, or gonna continue push to the downside. So when you go to 4H, you can see the reason why I'm saying that, because you can see the overall price action, how been moving from here. It's so corrective, as you can see. So this to me, it tells me that there's some possibility that you might reverse or reject within these areas. Whether it's gonna be here or this low remains to be seen. So I'll be waiting to see how price gonna react from this low here or from this rail line. So if we do break here, then we're waiting to see if we're gonna get some structure and then take it to the downside. If we push from here, then we'll see if might form maybe a double bottom and then push to the upside, or we push from here and then form some structure and then continue push to the upside. So that is what I'm looking for from this page. It's either we continue push to the downside or we reject from here and then push to the upside, maybe to break this high to form another high, of which will maybe coming to these highs here. So I next pair on my all cards is Euro vs Pound. So it's starting from daily, we had a nice push from this lows. After breaking this low here, we pushed it upside and then we broken this high here. So what I'm looking for now is to see if we can come this low and then see if we can continue push to the upside. So when you go to 4H, as you can see, yeah, you can get something like this and then see if we can take it to the upside. As you can see how to break here, we came back and then broken these highs as you can see, and then come back to form a W pattern or M pattern as you can see, and then push to the upside. So something like this, if you can get something like that, then be lovely. Or if you not reject from here, then form something like this and then take it to the upside, or we're gonna push all the way to the downside. So just waiting to see how price gonna develop or react around these areas here. And my last pair is New Zealand dollar versus Japanese yen. So I'm gonna start off from daily. So as you can see, we have a nice push from these areas to these highs. As you can see, a nice bullish momentum. So what I'm looking for here is to see whether we're gonna continue this momentum maybe to this high here, or maybe we're gonna reject from here and then to pull back from this area and then continue push to the upside. So from here to this low here, we can make a good percentage or some good rewards here. So when you go to lower time frame, as you can see, we've been pushing and then correct, you continue push, but how we pushing from how price is moving here correctively, you can see. So it's either you're gonna continue this way, break here, or maybe form something like this and push to the downside, or we're gonna commit early from here and then see if you get some structure that will form and then take it to the downside, or we're just gonna move corrective all the way. So we just have to wait for a clear breakout, some clear move here, whether and see if you can get some opportunities that are on 1 8 or 15 minutes. So that's it for today, guys. I hope you learn something from this video. Anyway, I'm gonna catch you up on another video. So thank you, guys.